This morning we're going to take a train from the outskirts of Shanghai to a city that's about 90 minutes by train. And today I'm traveling in first class. I wanted to do business class because I've never been in business class. But we're at the tail end of a holiday and the only option left is first class right now. So I'm actually on the outskirts of Shanghai in what you might call the suburbs. So this is one of the smaller stations. It's a bit rainy today. And it's called, what's it called now? It's called Shanghai Songjiang Station. And it's right on the, what would this be, like the western edge of Shanghai. And this station only has 2 platforms, but I think they're expanding. If you look here, they're building a new station. I don't know how big they need this suburban station to be, but they're expanding it. So maybe if you come back in a few years, it'll be a different experience. But yeah, anyway, I'll show you the station and I'll show you what it's like to ride a first class train in China. Yeah, I'll see you on the other side of security. This is what the inside of the station looks like. It's quite empty. And it's pretty standard for like a small Chinese train station. There's a lot of people leaving because, like I said, it's the end of a holiday. But there's not so many people coming in to leave Shanghai because I guess, you know, there would have been this time last week, but not today. And you know, the one thing that I don't like about Chinese train stations is there's not always a good selection of food. Like in this train station, there's 2 places. There's coffee shop here, and there's like a convenience shop over there on the other side of security. But that's it. It's a functional train station, but like, you know, you're kind of lacking in terms of like options of what to eat and drink. The way that these Chinese train tickets work, this trip from the suburbs of Shanghai to Yiwu would cost me, if I went in second class, if there were tickets, it would cost me 118 yuan. But in first class, it's 1.7 times the price, so it's 185 yuan, something like that. And then if you can get business class seats, which on one train there's maybe only, you know, half a dozen or a dozen seats, then the price is much higher. It's like 350 yuan. So for short distances, you can consider business class. But I was looking at an example. For example, if you wanted to fly from Shanghai to Beijing in economy, cost about 400 or 500 yuan. You know, assuming it's not a holiday, and double that if you wanted to do business class. But if you wanted to take the train, it's double again. So business class long distance by train in China is really, it's not the cheap way to travel. You could travel business class by plane for cheaper. And you may as well just travel economy class. That's what I would do. But yeah, in a future video, I'll do business class because, you know, I just want to see what it's like. And if you do a short distance, you know, it's not crazy expensive. I should say one other thing. You don't really need a ticket now. It used to be that if you were a foreigner, you had to line up to get like a paper ticket to come into the station, but they've done away with that now. So now you can just use your passport to get on the train, basically. And then I guess if the conductor comes, you show your passport or, I don't know, your confirmation. I'm not really sure. But there's a few types of trains in China, and you can tell by like the first letter of the train. If it's G, I think that's the fastest train. It's guard here. And then D would be slightly slower, but also fast train. Because I'm just looking at the departure board, which I'll show you in a second. And for some reason, it's not in English. You know, the categories are in English, but none of the station names are in English. But I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the departure board. My train is I don't know if you can see, it's G7431. Again, I don't know why there's no English, but my train goes from Hefei to Wenzhou. So I'm on it for part of that. And it leaves at 11:24. It's quite normal in China. You never go from like the first stop to the final stop, because that could be like 1,000 kilometers. It's quite normal to be on a just part. Time to board. If you're a foreigner, the problem is you can't go through the gates. You have to go through the manual channel. So let's do that.
是温州那一边哈。
351中广播。
74318吧。
7351啊，你那个上面。
我是7351。
看好您的车次。
对对，好。
好，谢谢。So in this station it's not so bad, but in some other stations you gotta line up for a long time, because the manual channel is for people without proper documentation. I'm in carriage number 4. And the train's quite long. There's what, 16 carriages? We're on 8. You can see how suburban it is. It's not much here, like surrounding the station. There's not much. I think that's an expressway over there. The benefit of first class is that there's fewer people. If you look here, I think this is second class, and then this is first class and business class. I guess business class might be at the end, I'm not sure. And the train should be coming into the station at any minute. Actually, I can see it in the distance now. This is first class, I think 11A. It's not bad, it's a bit old, but it's quite spacious. This is one of the older trains, it's not one of the newer ones. This one's called Harmony, so it might be about 10 years old, but still it's nice. So let me show you what the seat has. There's some controls. They don't work, which is just not surprising. What am I going to listen to? There's a hook for your jacket, for your bag. Maybe I'll put my bag up there. That works. And then I think here, if you wanted to eat, there should be some way to charge my phone. Let's see. Oh, here. It's very important on like a long ride. You want somewhere to charge your phone. Some seats don't have that, but I think in first class they generally do.
Welcome aboard the CRH train. Smoking is strictly forbidden on this train. Next stop is Jiaxingnan Station.
This is the bathroom. Small. It's bigger than a plane. A bit bigger than a plane. It's
欢迎您乘坐和谐号列车。本次列车全列禁烟。下一站杭州东站。
Because this is a Chinese train, the thing you need in every carriage is hot water. Because people need hot water for instant noodles, and just because Chinese people like to drink a lot of hot water, so this is where you can get your water. Second class is this way, which is much busier. And in second class, it's 2-3. That's the configuration. First class is 2-2.
查询列车正晚点信息，运行位置接续车次，畅享参。
Well, that's what it's like to take a high-speed train in first class. I'm gonna head outside the station and try to get a taxi to my hotel. Yeah. It's the first time this has happened to me. There's like a police station just before the ticket gates, and lady comes out and says you need to register, which is unusual. Like, you have to register when you arrive in China, and not if you're staying at a hotel, which I am, and I'm not arriving from outside of China. But yeah, something you need to do in Yiwu, because I guess they have a lot of foreigners here. So I came down to the area. There's an area where you can get, what do they call it? Online ride boarding area, which is where you get your Didi or your Uber. And I'm waiting for mine. Apparently, well, I call it the Premier service. So it's like the high-end Uber or Didi in China. And apparently it's a Hongqi. I've never been in a Hongqi. Hongqi is like it's like the Chinese luxury brand of car. So when you see like they do the thing in Beijing where they inspect the troops, the car that Xi Jinping's in, it's like a Hongqi. So it'll be interesting to take a ride in that. So I don't think I'll end the video just yet. I want to see what this car is like. Well, that was good value for money. It's 31 yuan. It's about for a 20-minute ride. It's only marginally more expensive than the other cars. So yeah, do take the Premier if you're in Yiwu.